What the doctor said to me that day, it rattled me and has carried me till to this day. He said, Tabitha, I have good news. All of your other organs and systems are functioning really well, but your heart is swollen beyond the size that it should be. I'm going to ask you an unorthodox question. Please don't get upset. But are you upset with anyone by chance? That made me upset, okay? But I didn't show it. I lied to him and told him, no, I'm not upset with anyone. I get along with everyone. I love everybody. The truth of the matter is, you guys, I was really angry since the age of 6 years old and had been holding on to that anger and frustration for all of those many years. Before I left that doctor's office that day, he made a statement that yet again rattled me. He said, Tabitha, whoever it is, let them go. It's not worth your life.
We love seeing all types of entrepreneurs and helping them as much as we can. Our local mission is to make sure that, number one, not just anyone comes up here. We don't want a salesman to stand up here and try to sell you a product, right? That's not why you're here every single week. We want them to share their journey and their challenges that they're facing so that you can maybe help them think of their business in a new way or help them figure out those challenges. And Albuquerque, we are that one little dot in the middle of New Mexico, almost in the middle. Hopefully, I've heard that Las Cruces is considering starting a 1 million cups, so that might happen. Otherwise, you can see they're all across the region and then all across the US. So if you present here, check out the other locations and see if they have a hybrid version, or go and visit and present in another city. All right, key pillars, like I said, it's a presentation, not a pitch, right? And we want to see authentic connections, which we see a lot here. So if you're not here physically, after the presentation, this place is so noisy because everybody's chatting, getting to know each other, making real connections, and that's what we love to see. And it's run for the community, by the community. You know, none of us here are paid to do this. We come here and organize, and we have a lot of great community helpers to make sure this happens every week. And we want to continually be radically and intentionally inclusive. We want to see all entrepreneurs, all types of businesses, right? From creative to technical. And our mission, so I'm not going to read this whole thing, but basically you are not alone. If you come here or you email us, right? Or post something on Facebook, chat with us, get to know everybody here in the community. Someone here has an answer to your entrepreneurial problem. And if you sold something to someone other than your mother, as Paul likes to say, make sure to apply. We also, we generally like businesses that have gone past the startup, but we will also consider your idea. If you're just in the idea stage, come and talk to us. We occasionally break the rules. And this is our awesome organizing team. So we got Paul Sauter from Equiseek. We have Lisa Atkins, COO of Fat Pipe. Eric Rins-Whitmore may or may not be online, but he's probably running around Santa Fe today. We have Daniel Sapleski, and myself, Sonia Doing, and then Kakoa and Oscar, who are not here today. But a great team of people who make this happen every week. And also our sponsors. So we've been here 5 years? 10. Oh my God. How's that? It doesn't feel like that long.
The COVID year was actually 4 years.
Okay, all right. Well, we've been here 10 years at Fat Pipe ABQ, the best co-working space in Albuquerque. So if you're looking for a space to rent for a day, a week, a month, I was going to be here a month. I was here like 3 or 4 or 5 some years.
7.
I was here 7 years. Mary was messing with me. I don't know. I was here a while, but I love this space. So it's a nice quiet space to come to, except for Wednesday mornings. We also have Foundation for Sustainable Living. They buy our coffee. So thank goodness, because the coffee is really good this morning. Dry Heat Photography. Thank you for coming. Our official photographer. So if you check our Facebook page, 1 Million Cups, you'll see her photography. So check that out. We also have Beyond Energy. They bring energy drinks when they're here. Is that true?
It's true.
Okay, awesome. And then we have more than organized. Miriam brings the creamer for our coffee, so thank you very much. And Noventum Custom Software. This morning I saw a whole line of baked goods back there. I assume that was from Brian. Yes. Brian does the baking when he has a chance. Sometimes he just sends the donuts, and either way, it's awesome. So thank you, Brian. And we have Minuteman Press on Eubank, and they've done some awesome printing for us for 1 Million Cups. So if you need any printing, check them out. And who is our coach for today?
Danielle.
Danielle. All right, Danielle's going to come up next. Lovely necklace. That's really cool.
All right, good morning, everybody. So I'm really excited to announce this next presenter. So she's coming to us all the way from the Sunshine State. She's in Florida, so I'm sure she's enjoying weather that's a little different than ours today. Really enjoyed this coaching session, and actually she and I share a little bit more of a connection. I lived down on the Virgin Islands for a few years, and she's actually from St. Thomas. So that was kind of cool to talk about too. So without further ado, I'm going to present to you Miss Tabitha Christopher. Do we want to turn the camera around? Yeah.
Thank you so much, Danielle.
Is that good?
Great morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes? Okay, fantastic. So I first want to thank Danielle for all of her help in hand-holding me through this process to get ready for today. And I want to thank every single one of you who were there live and those who are here virtually, just as myself, to make this moment possible. So I'm looking forward to us being able to connect afterwards and getting your feedback, hearing your ideas and suggestions as we grow together in our each individual industry. So my name is Tabitha Christopher of tabithachristopher.com. Now, really quick, you guys, let me get a quick pause here because I want to make sure that I'm able to navigate through this slide seamlessly. Okay, so good. Excellent, there we go. All right, so I'm the creator and founder of the Mind Style Makeover Bootcamp, also known as MSMBC. It is a character and resilience building training program for students in middle school, high school, and college, providing them with a roadmap to thrive inside and outside the classroom. Now, why do I do this work? Well, I am a former actress who hid behind the telling of other people's stories to avoid the pains of my abusive childhood. And as a talented athlete and award-winning double national certified personal trainer, I used exercise as my drug of choice to suppress anger and anxiety. Well, it wasn't long before toxic stress started to build up within my body. And at the age of 21, I came breaths away from having a heart attack, while ironically working through a drill in an exercise science internship program. What the doctor said to me that day, it rattled me and has carried me till to this day. He said, Tabitha, I have good news. All of your other organs and systems are functioning really well, but your heart is swollen beyond the size that it should be. I'm going to ask you an unorthodox question. Please don't get upset. But are you upset with anyone by chance? That made me upset, okay? But I didn't show it. I lied to him and told him, no, I'm not upset with anyone. I get along with everyone. I love everybody. The truth of the matter is, you guys, I was really angry since the age of 6 years old and had been holding on to that anger and frustration for all of those many years. Before I left that doctor's office that day, he made a statement that yet again rattled me. He said, Tabitha, whoever it is, let them go. It's not worth your life. Well, being stubborn, I refused to own my story until 2013. This client and friend that you see on the screen here, Julianne Hartman of Healing Journeys Today Ministry, she witnessed me at a very low point of physical pain and extreme fatigue. And she then pressed. She said, I know you're successful in your professional work, but why aren't you applying the same principles that you're teaching all of us, your clients? What's your real story, Tabitha? So that day, I reluctantly opened up and shared with her about the intense struggle to survive and make it out alive. What she said next is what has me here today, speaking and meeting with each of you. She said, Tabitha, I'm glad that you were able to make it out. But what about the many others who are in the same place where you were, that will die and be killed because you refuse to tell your story? Well, by 2016, I closed my personal training business, sold everything, and packed up what I had left in 4 suitcases and drove from California back to Pensacola, Florida, where I'm at right now, to heal what had been broken for many years between myself and my dad. And today, I am so happy to share with you, we have a thriving relationship that I never thought would ever happen in this life. So I decided to take what I learned to market to test to see if anyone else desired to learn how to stop faking it and own their story. Well, that test turned into a 12-city tour, and in less than 1 year, over 7,000 trailblazing students, educators, community leaders, and parents across 12 cities in the United States learned how to own their story through my transformative storytelling experience. I got to show you guys some of the pictures of these amazing trailblazers. Check it out, you guys. We got Antelope Valley, we got the VI, we have Southern California, Phoenix, Arizona, Simi Valley, and it just goes on and on. Just great stuff from middle schools, high schools, and colleges. And here are some of the few organizations that we've worked with so far. I have to share with you guys this one student's testimonial that this young man, Giovanni, I met him back in February of 2017. I was able to reconnect with him September of last year. And this is what he said about the transformative storytelling experience. He said, it's what multiple therapy sessions would take. It expedites the process in helping someone learn themselves and care for others. So with my audiobook in hand, I had audiences asking for a physical book. So I went ahead and wrote that, Secrets, the Book of Destiny, three healing journals, which are all available on Amazon. But in addition to wanting a book, countless students requested curriculum. In fact, it was a handful of middle school students that started this request. And so in 2018, I buckled down to create what is now my company's main top shelf product, the Mind Style Makeover Bootcamp, MSMBC. This resilience and character building training program is delivered in 3 phases. Phase number 1 is a 45-minute transformative storytelling experience, which is provided to the entire student body and staff. Phase number 2 is a 6-week Mind Style Makeover Bootcamp, which is delivered to 3 to 5% of that school's population, and they're selected through an online application. After they go through phase 2, they learn how to reauthor the story that's been owning them and create their own blueprint of their legacy success story, the one they desire to live and be remembered for, and the steps of how to make that a reality. And then phase number 3, my most favorite, they launch into the FIT student lifestyle. Can you guys ask me what FIT stands for?
What's FIT stand for?
Thank you, guys. It stands for First Class Innovative Trailblazers of Society. Every single student that graduates from MSMBC are now charged to impact up to 109 individuals outside of them using their FIT Cards of Hope deck. Each card has personalized messages for individuals that are within their lives, the teachers, the deans, the coaches, the principals, their parents, their peers, and also neighbors throughout the community. Now, that's the in-person model. We're getting ready to launch our online experience in Q2, launching beta test cycle number 1. And these are the stages of which the customers will come to us, right? I'm gonna move through these slides quite quickly because I wanna make sure we get through them. because there is a slide that I want to be able to show you all where you'll be able to help me to get some answers on where I need help. Our company's mission is to build up 1 million fit students by year 2032. Through our mission, we will eliminate violence, need for suspension, reduce requests to mental health clinics, disrespect to authority, reduce tardiness, reduce disruptions in class, and reduce in-school detention, while raising peer-led collaboration. Wait a minute, let's go back. There we go. That promote a fit lifestyle, student-driven community service, exciting and safe learning environments, unified communities, and peer-to-peer mentors. Now, this is our 6-month growth track plan, okay? So we have set to hire a bookkeeper, which we did. We're looking at bringing on a data scientist within this quarter, between this quarter and next quarter, student intern videographer for launches that are done here locally in Pensacola, a tech company that specializes in crafting digital experiences, which we've been able to do that for the bookkeeper, the student intern, the tech company. We're still looking for that data scientist. And for our brand visibility campaign, we're doing daily posts to social media, and we're also looking to collab with influencers through podcasts, blogging, etc. Okay. And as I mentioned to you all, we're looking to launch our beta test for cycle number 1 of the online version of MSNBC in Q2. And we're also looking to launch all 3 phases of MSNBC into 4 schools in Pensacola and Santa Rosa. And this is our revenue target per quarter for us to sustain our company's growth, anywhere between $109,000 to $120K per quarter. This is the brand legacy cycle. Stage 1, the 3 in-person beta test cycles. Stage 2, we're going to complete 12 online beta test cycles between this year and next year. And then by 2026, we'll be ready to launch MSNBC into public schools in the Southeast region, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi. Stage 4 is to launch MSNBC in public schools nationwide. Stage 5 is to launch MSNBC international. And by stage 6, we would have hit successfully raising up 1 million fit students by 2032. This is our amazing team. Combined, all of us together have over 110 years of experience in storytelling, family development, education, social work, and program development. Now, these are our current company needs, and I'm going to stop right here so everyone can see it, and I'm going to take it, send it back over to you all. So thank you all so much again, and looking forward to your feedback, ideas, so that this mission can be made true. Thank you.
If anybody would like a question, we'll form a line over here. I normally take the slide deck down, Tabitha, to so that you can see the speaker on the screen. Is that okay with you?
Oh, fantastic. Yes, most definitely.
All right.
Let me get my notepad.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready for.
Okay.
Make sure you're on the camera.
Okay.
Start with.
Start.
Oops. Hold on. Let me get the better view going here. All righty.
Right. Thank you, Tabitha. That was really inspiring. I'm Paul Sutter, founder and chief scientific officer of Equisy. We're a course genetic testing company. And, you've given us an overview, and I know you really shouldn't share personal information, but I want you to take your favorite story, airbrush it a little bit, and tell me what this has done for one person, your favorite story, that person.
There's so many, Paul. Okay. Yeah, now you're gonna make me cry. Okay, so I would say this. So many to choose from. Okay, so let me just do Giovanni, so that way I won't be blubbering all over the screen. Okay. So Giovanni, when I met him in February 2017, this young man was sitting in the front row, and all I saw was an incredibly intelligent, smart kid that had everything going on. Well, after the presentation that day, I came back to the school for an open house where parents were able to come and just meet with teachers. And, they invited me to come, so I showed up. His mom approached me when he was nowhere around, and she pointed at me and she said, "Were you the speaker that came here and spoke at my son's school?" And my breath went shallow, and I was like, depends on what happened. And then she looked around to make sure he wasn't coming into the room, and she said, "My son, is Giovanni." And she said, "That day that you came, he didn't know, but that was going to be his last night in my house. And his last choice he was ever going to make was which one of the 3 military schools he was going to be sent off to." And she said that day when she showed up just to check in on the boys, the house was clean. And when she went to the back room, he was back there helping his little brother do his homework. Giovanni was failing miserably. He wasn't trying at all. Well, after the presentation that week, he went from F to straight A's. And then he went to the executive director of the school and asked if he and his best friend could form the first robotics team at the school. They did. And they went up against teams that were formed for years, big, massive teams, just about 6 of them. And they placed 10th in the state of Florida. They went on to compete nationally with other schools internationally as well. And they got top 100 their first year out. And so he was one of the students who encouraged me to expand this into curriculum. He was the one of the many students that was really pressing. He said, "This needs to be mandatory. You have no idea how this has changed my life." That was 7 years ago. He is now a successful data analyst up in New York, upstate, up in the up northeast region. I don't remember which state it is, but he's doing great. And he said, "I didn't care before, but after that experience, I cared to know not just who I was, but I cared to know about other people's stories, like my principal, my teachers, my peers. I didn't care before." And so I'm going to say that one. There's some other ones that, I'm talking like extreme other stuff. I had a young man I met that was homeless since the age of like 6 or 7 years old and had avoided foster care. Can you believe this? The resilience within these students, right? And when I met him, he was 18. After the transformative storytelling experience, he asked me if he could get access to my audiobooks. I came back the next day to bring audiobook copy for him and a whole bunch of other students. The principal told me, "Oh, he's not here." And I freaked out. I was like, "Oh my gosh, what happened to him?" And he said, "Well, after the talk yesterday, he went and enrolled in PSC. He believes that he can do it." And we helped him. And this is a young man who didn't think that he had a future. So these are the kinds of transformations that have been happening. And I'm looking forward to so many more, Paul. Thank you for asking that question.
Well, thanks for the answer. And I'm sure your data scientist is going to love these stories. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
Annie,
you.
let's go to Annie first. Annie, I'm going to add you to the screen. All right.
Hi, Tabitha. Thank you for your presentation. Very, very informative, certainly. I'm curious to know, this seems to be, is the focus of your organization towards young adults, and how would this apply to a more mature audience, shall we say, right?
Oh,
Whose
that's
needs
so good.
are different and can be customized. Obviously, there's different adults and different journeys of their life, right? Who may be struggling with something or another that was unresolved when they were younger, or don't know that they
Yeah.
have something unresolved. How would this retrofit into that, and how would you customize that? Or are you even thinking about maybe reaching a broader audience, right? The more adult, more mature audience.
That's a really good question, Annie. And I keep getting this. One of the things that I've found is that so far in just testing out these principles that are taught within the curriculum, I've done it for audiences of wide reaching age ranges. And I'm talking as young as 4 years old to my oldest audience member that I can recall, it was 89. And they were able to benefit from the information. And it was, it's been amazing. So my whole idea right now is when the students, when moms and dads sign their students up, my hope is that the parents will be there going along the journey with their child so that they can all have a family discussion, so they can all grow together in these conversations, because that's what's been happening before I even had MSNBC. I had a dad that he knew me since I was a teenager, and his daughter, one of his oldest child, their relationship had been like done. After phase 1, he reached out to call her. He didn't even know he had 2 grandchildren. And now, that was back in 2017. Now they see each other every year, and he's getting to know his grandchildren. So I think as it is, we'll see what happens, how parents get involved and get their feedback of how it's helping them. And then I'll take their feedback to see what I can do if it's necessary for me to, make something that's just for adults. You know what I'm saying, Annie?
Yeah, I do. I think one of the concerns I have is there's a lot of grown adults, older adults, who definitely could use something like this, right? It's not just the young adults, if you will. I think there's value in it, certainly. That's why I'm asking whether you were thinking about maybe reaching a wider demographics and require, sort of age group, if you will. I mean, it's great that the younger and then the parents are involved. I think that's very much needed for sure. But just on the other spectrum of it, the more, I don't care if you're 50, 40, 60, 70, there's value, I think, from that perspective. But thank you for your feedback.
Yeah. Thank you, Annie.
Come on up, JP.
Good morning, Tabitha. Thank you for your presentation. My name is John Patrick. I'm developing a wellness business, and I've been kind of involved in this philosophy that you're talking about for about 37 years through different different concepts and ideas and what they may have called back in the 70s and new age stuff. So one thing that kind of struck me was I was watching a video last night. Have you ever heard of Humanity's Team?
No.
It's Steve Farrell and Neil Donald Walsh, and it's the initiative to kind of bring the world together through, intention and quantum physics concepts. And I think you would be an amazing speaker on their channel.
Wow. Okay. You said Humanity's Team?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And it's Neil Donald Walsh. I think he's the Conversations with God author, who's like a bestseller worldwide. And, and I've taken a course from them, and they're amazing. So I think the consciousness that you're developing is in line with their mission statement.
Fantastic. Okay. Thank you for that, JP. I have them written down. Oh, JP, by chance, do you have a way of, do you know anyone on the team that I could contact directly by chance?
If you go to their website, they have like a contact page, and they have interns, but it's Steve Farrell he's the I guess you call the president.
Okay,
and
Steve Farrell.
Sometimes he does answer communications directly, and I'm sure you would get a direct conversation with him with no problem.
Okay,
fantastic. Thank you for that, JP.
Yeah, the last question that Annie was talking about, I think, is really relevant because education starts with adults. And I have 3 sisters in Albuquerque that are in the public schools. And I've done presentations at the classrooms before with the game development stuff I was involved in. And these kids are, it's hard to say this, simply, but some of them are in a real war zone with what's going on in their families and in the culture. And there's so many things. I don't want to go into all that stuff, but I think that what you're addressing is very important. And when Annie says, like, starting with the adults, or having them in the loop, I think is so important. Because the young people could do the FIT program and excel in it, and then they go back home
Yeah.
and then there's still all the drama and trauma being like, inundated upon them. But
You're
I
so
just
right,
wanna-
JP.
So, but seeing your presentation and all the work that you've done to get there, I think is amazing, and it's just worthy to let you know that I'm supporting you in a way that I can by putting the intention for your success, and I believe that you can do it. There's nothing stopping you.
Thank
And,
you. Thank you for that, JP.
Yeah. So thank you, Tabitha. And if there's a way to contact you, I can maybe follow up on some of this conversation and send you an email with some contacts.
Yes, that'd be so awesome. After we go through all the questions, I'm going to make sure to put my contact page up so everyone can take a picture of it. Yes, that'd be so good.
Great. Well, thank you, and I wish you all the success.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's go online to Debbie.
Good morning.
Morning. Trying to find
Good
you.
morning, Debbie.
Can you hear me okay?
Can hear you.
Yes.
It's an excellent presentation, really great. Kind of on the lines of what Annie and the other gentleman just said. My sister has been in the preschool business forever, right? And so to me, it's just kind of a combination of getting at them when they're really young, because it just seems like at 5 years old, they're already in, some deep trouble. And if they don't have the parents and things to help them, it's almost like middle school is too late for some of these people. So I just wanted to mention that. And then also when you talked about the young gentleman that saw your presentation, I don't know how the presentation was, if it was like an hour or whatnot, but to me, if you could even have that be recorded or something and offer
Yes.
that, because that,
Yes.
if it's that powerful for that short time, that needs to get out there, because I looked at your website and right now you're only doing in person and 10 people and things, and it seems like what you're doing is so valuable that can't wait for 10 people at a time to get started, So
Yeah.
that was all I was going to mention.
I so appreciate that so much. And you're right, for the online experience, phase 1, the 45-minute transformative storytelling experience, it's on there. So the students will get to experience it virtually for those that sign up online, so that they're not missing out on what the students get in person, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Debbie. We have a line forming here. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Hello, Miriam Ortiz-Pino with More Than Organized. I'm also a many breakthrough business coach, so mindset huge.
Yeah.
But you mentioned you want to hire a data scientist or analyst. And you're in Pensacola, and I'm wondering if there's some way to connect with universities and or the military and or any labs there. We have that program where we can get some help from the labs on data. It might save you from having to hire someone specifically, and other students take on, and people modeling and stuff take on the heavy lifting of it, and then you can run with it. So you might want to look into that since where you're located.
That's a great idea. Thank you. Okay. Boom.
And I had a second thought that maybe slightly sensitive, but you are in Florida and the education situation is getting a little fraught there, it seems. And I'm wondering if you want to add perhaps more liberal or not as restrictive state to your initial beta options, so that you get less friction on your way to the beta test. I don't know if that's
Okay.
considered, or did that make sense? I'm trying not to go.
Yeah.
totally,
Oh, I know.
but
Yeah, I know. No. I mean, no, it's definitely a fair question. I haven't had any pushback at all. Like, it's actually, the governor passed in 2019 a mandate that there be at least 6 hours of character and resilience building training infused within the schools. And I just learned about that last November. I didn't even know that that law had been passed in 2019. So it's actually right in lines with everything that has been developed in MSNBC. Yeah. So,
Perfect.
but I'm totally open. I have contacts in California that are wanting access to this. Like now, I'm doing a launch in Ojai, California in April. Mhm.
That's great. Ohio's great.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Thank you so much. Was it Miriam? I want to make sure I said your name right.
It's Miriam, M-I-R.
Miriam. Okay. Thank you so much, Miriam.
Yeah, David. It's a great presentation. I loved it.
Thank you.
The way you're dressed shows me you're a woman of passion, that you put the passion and the effort to what you do. Thank you so much for making the time to come to us and do this presentation. When you were telling the first story, all my skin, like I felt the emotion in it, and how your course impacted the life of that young man to be able to contribute, to be able to find purpose in his life. So it was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. In regards to what Mary said too, I know someone that might be a good fit for the position that you're looking for. So I'm gonna connect with you and give you his information. But he's a story of transformation. Like, I think he will resonate a lot with your vision and your purpose. So I'll connect you with him and see if he's a good fit for what you're looking for that scientist.
You're good. She's still there.
Okay, for that scientist, analyst position that you're looking for. And also, how can we connect people to you? Like, are you doing this only on Florida, or are you doing it nationwide?
Yes, so good question. In person, I'm doing lunches right now in Florida, but we're able to go anywhere with the launch, anywhere. So when I go to the college campuses, I gotta tell this to you guys. So in Antelope Valley College, they brought me out when I had the Mind Style Makeover beta. Like, it was all just really like super new. They brought me out for a 3-hour workshop. That 3-hour workshop went to 8 hours because the students wouldn't leave, and they called their parents, their aunts, their uncles, their cousins, their coworkers. It went from 75 students to, it just jumped to over 200, standing room only, right? So I said, okay, so clearly this thing is something students need and want, right? So for college campuses, what it would be, we would do phase 1, and we would do a short, condensed version of MSNBC within 3 to 4 hours, so it can be a one-day training experience. High schools, it's a little bit difficult with high school and middle school, is because the information is so much. I just feel that they need space in between each session to be able to digest what they're learning, do their homework, and then be ready for the next session. So that's why I'm kind of holding back on launching for high schools and middle schools outside of Florida right now. But the goal is to be able to have it in a turnkey system online, so that schools would just purchase the license to have it at their school, and they can have a class where the students can show up and go through the entire program with ease. We're not there yet, though. But for colleges and universities, we are ready to be able to launch the whole thing for them. Yes.
So offering something in the back of my mind in the near future, if you could think also about the parents of those kids, if they could receive some kind of, like, if you could offer a package or something, because like other people were saying, the kid can receive the education, but if at home he goes back to that environment that is not promoting growth and development, and targeting those parents so they can have like a breakthrough, and also so they can reconcile with that past that is making them act in a certain way that is keeping that child stuck, because they're just transferring those emotions and just preventing from that child to grow. So just think about the parents of those kids. How can we do something to impact their lives as well? And then that will be even more powerful. Imagine just impacting a whole family, a whole family. So yeah, that's my contribution, but thank you so much for what you're doing. And I hope that I'm able to collaborate with you in your plans.
Thank you so much. What is your name?
Eleni, like Elena. I'm a nurse.
Eleni?
Yes.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you so much for everything that you shared. And yes, I'm going to make sure I have my contact page up so we can collab. This is good. Thank you.
Sure.
Hi, Tabitha. I'm Marilyn Pruitt, also a life coach, Our Peaceful Path. And I've come to realize that my specialty is stress reduction. It works for business people, but it's really resonated a lot with abuse and with formerly homeless people. I applaud what you are doing. How did you take it from little to big?
Well, how did I take from what?
From
the program?
Starting out, your program, how did you take it from little to big so you could touch more lives?
Okay, yeah, that's so good. That's so good. I would say from the very beginning, I didn't know it was going to happen like that. I just didn't know. You know how you get that feeling just to take a leap of faith and just whatever happens is whatever happens. And that's what happened. Like I literally took a leap. I had no idea if it was going to work, if it was going to help anybody. And I went out. I was just telling another 1 Million Cup fellow entrepreneur. I was talking to him yesterday from Orlando, and he asked me the same question. I said to him, look, listen, man, I did 80 schools. I went door knocking 80 schools within less than 6 weeks, Monday through Friday. Just showed up. And I told them what I had. And out of the 80 schools, there were 3 schools that said, come on in. And then there was the juvenile detention center for boys and girls said, come on in, right? And then the word just spread because I was sharing about the journey online. So then there were organizers in California and Phoenix, Arizona that saw it, heard about it. Back home in the Caribbean, they saw it, heard about it, and then they started reaching out. And then I had principals of like top grade schools reaching out because they saw what I was sharing online and the transformation. And then they got to see the comments of the students that were flooding my social media. And so they were like, okay, we need this at our school. And so social media actually really helped a whole lot with that, but it started with doing the door knocking and not giving up. I didn't care. You know what? No one said no to me. It was always like, we don't have the budget right now. And I was like, all right, cool. When you get it, here's my information, hit me up. I got to go on to the next one. So I just kept pressing, and I got to tell you, it was the students that gave me the energy and they gave me the energy to keep going. Because when I wanted to just give up, when things were just like not panning out, because there were so many deep valleys where it seemed like it wasn't going to get to where it is now and where we're going. And those students would reach out in those low points and say, hey, Miss Tabitha, are you doing what you said you were going to do? And I'm like, oh my God. So, that accountability, they have no idea how much they've been a huge driving inspiration for me. Huge. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand the impact just from what I've seen, and the shift that it's made in the lives of people is huge. And you're doing that big time. That is impressive. And I applaud you for changing all of these lives, because the abuse, all of that negativity tears everyone down and paralyzes the positivity. I applaud you and keep going. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Man, you guys are awesome, man, with all of these encouragements. Like, I really appreciate y'all so much. This is good stuff. Hello. I'm
I
loving
love
that
it.
lace jacket. That looks really nice. Yeah. Yeah.
Tabitha, Nancy, it's really nice to meet you. And we are sisters in this movement. Because isn't this amazing now at this time that there's openings for people to heal from their traumas and that people are moving.
Right?
Yeah, what an opportunity in the history of the planet has this ever happened? And it's so cool to be
Right.
part of it, right? I love it. I had just a couple of vague ideas. First, I wanted to
Please.
say, I'm Nancy Boss and I'll be reaching out to you later. And so I wanted to say, hey. My field is fear and confidence research. And of course, it all comes down to the childhood traumas that you are working on helping to overcome while they're still kids. I think that's amazing. I am not gifted with the kids. I'm gifted with the adults. And so I speak to associations and corporations and have, online products that are available for the adults. And so I wanted to let you know that that's what I'm going to be reaching out for. But also, I wanted to just check in with you. What is your biggest need right now? What can we really help you with in New Mexico?
Oh, this is so good. All right. So really quick, I got to show you. Okay. Right here. So I'm looking for partnerships with moms and dads. Okay. Collaborations with podcasters, bloggers. So if you are a podcaster or a blogger that your audience is mainly moms or parents, I would love to, to chat and be a part of that collaboration. Looking for a booking agent for speaking engagement. Like I said, I'm out there pounding the pavement. I'm going after it, but it'd be really helpful if I have someone else doing that along with me. Also looking for a grant writer, someone that specializes in SEO optimization, web developer that creates websites to the standard of security by state and cross state lines. And again, trailblazers. I mean, you guys have already been sharing about how much you believe in the mission already, because many of you are already doing it, you're living it. And so I'm asking for anyone who will be willing to engage with me online by liking, commenting, sharing. And then when you get a chance to experience what this is, to provide a 5-star Google review so more trailblazers can know about it. So these are the current needs, Nancy, of where I'm at right now.
Fantastic. You will be a guest then on the Empower Your Voice podcast. I got you there. I personally, I just let go of my booking agent last week, so I don't have a solution there. For SEO, I'm working with a guy from Nigeria. If it works out well, I will let you know if I can refer him.
Okay. Fantastic. Nancy, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Tabitha.
Hi, Tabitha. My name is Jay Pullen with New Path Wellness. Great presentation. I loved what you're doing. And I'll ditto what Miriam said about going to the university for data people. We actually did that with a program that I've been involved with, and it was successful.
Okay.
I've been associated with this organization. It's not what I do daily, but it's an organization that works with children that have severe behavioral problems to the point that they need therapeutic intervention. And we've been fairly successful with that program, but one of the things that I realize is that once they are discharged from our program, presumably successfully, they really, really need a community to move into because it's so easy to get back into the wrong crowd and go back downhill again. And so I was wondering, number one, if you have been in contact with the therapy community, the programs that are like ours that are, involved in the deeper therapeutic movement, to provide those kids another place to go to, because that would just be huge for the population that we discharge. And it would be a great service.
Okay.
I don't know exactly how that might play out in your community, but it was a thought that I had that I wish you were here in Albuquerque so we could get our kiddos into that kind of a program.
This is good. I'm glad that you mentioned that. I just made a note because I did have here locally, I briefly connected with our main mental health clinic, which they're overwhelmed right now, and with both students and adults. So I'm not in consistent conversation as yet because of what we're getting ready to launch. I want to first get through the online beta testing to see how well that translates and see how impactful it would be for students that are on extreme ends of the for lack of better term, just on extreme ends of behavior, like those that are like top of the line students academically, athletically, all of that stuff, but they're struggling internally, to those who are expressing outward. You know, I'm showing you that I'm struggling type of behavior. And look, I want to bring them all into one pool as what's been happening in person, and see how it translates online first, and see how successful it is. And then once I'm able to see through the data it is working, then I'm like, okay, we're here, we're the solution for what you have going on, what you're dealing with right now at the mental health clinics. So does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah.
It might not be an easy process actually, but I think it's certainly worth looking into. And
Okay.
I'm going to stay in touch with what you're doing so that if it grows large enough, we could actually take advantage of it here as well.
That'd be great.
The other question I had was, how is the program funded?
Oh, thank you for asking that. So right now, it's not being funded. Okay. Okay. So, so the main thing of what I've been doing is taking speaking engagements, and from those speaking engagements, getting paid from those, monies from that is getting reinvested right back into the development of MSNBC. And so one thing of what I've been pushing to do is more speaking engagements and direct B2C. That's the model that I'm working with, is taking MSNBC directly to parents, because as parents were hearing about it just a couple of months ago, they said, why do we have to wait for for the school to get through their paperwork to then bring you on? We want to have the power to choose to bring our child in now. So we want to pay for access for our kid now. So that's what has me, digitizing the curriculum actually this week. So we'll be ready for helping those parents who are ready for their students to get on. So they will be a part of helping to pay to push the growth of this. And currently I have one of my team members submitting for grants. So we're doing a minimum of 8 grant submissions each quarter, and ranging from 4 figures all the way up to 6 figures. And we'll keep doing that, so that's one way. And then another way that we're looking at is also for an angel investor to come in to help us to scale much faster. Yeah. Oh, you said, are we all? Hello. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not much money out there for programs like this, or at least as much as we'd all like. So I understand the challenge of getting something like this off the ground. So kudos to you. It's fantastic.
Thank you. Tell me your name again, sir. I'm sorry, I missed it.
Jay Pullen.
Jay Paul
Pullen, Pullen.
Pullen.
And
is that right? Okay. Great to meet you.
Pullen, yeah.
Pullen.
It's still
I think
getting it right on our Pullen, like I'm pulling on.
Oh, Pullen. Okay. All right. Okay. So great. Thank you, Mr. Pullen. Appreciate it. Thank you.
And the organization I'm associated with is the Attachment Healing Center, just FYI.
Let me put that down. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Clifton, I'll let you wrap it up. So let me add you to the screen and you can be our last question.
Oh, boy. Oh, excellent presentation, Tabitha. Thank you so much. I only late in life have become familiar with how I might need to do a little bit of work on my childhood trauma. So it's excellent that you're reaching people earlier. One of my clients is a woman named Dr. Ruby Gibson, And she has a book called My Body, My Earth, Somatic Archaeology. And I'm going to send this to you right now in a direct text. But she
Okay.
works specifically with she has what she calls a historical trauma masterclass. She's working specifically with indigenous people. And, I think there's some aspects of that historical trauma that we can all relate to. And I just wanted to bring it to your attention, first of all, because she's working on a little bit of a parallel path, and you might be able to discover some things looking at the information I provided you. And second of all, I think that, when we're talking about the childhood traumas, certainly in my case, they were inflicted on adults around me who all grew up with their own childhood traumas. And so I thought that the idea of looking into the historical trauma that a lot of us carry for different reasons might, enhance your work, instruct your work a
Thank
little
you.
bit. So, yeah, thank you. Great presentation. Thank you very much for your work.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Clifton.
All right, thanks, Cliff. Danielle, you want to come up and wrap up her presentation?
Okay, so this one's gonna be a little bit interesting because it's our standard state question. And you're probably not gonna know the answer. Have you ever been to New Mexico?
No.
I didn't think so.
Wait, hold on. Wait. No, wait. No, technically I have, because I drove through from California to get to Pensacola in 2016. That was where I got stopped by Border Patrol coming through. That's a very funny story I share with Danielle. If you guys, when you meet with me one-on-ones, I'll share it with you.
Well, perfect. So what we normally ask people is red or green, and that's referring to our chili, our peppers. And so we have red sauce and green sauce, and it's a whole thing. There's camps, and like it's a big deal. So exactly. And so we ask people which one they prefer. So when you do come to visit us, you're gonna have to try both chilies and let us know which one you prefer.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm excited. I'm excited.
It's the whole thing. So you've given us your slide with several different requests, but if there was one thing right now that this community could do for you, what would that be right now?
You guys have given so much. Like truly, it's again like what everyone has been doing, sharing ideas. If you could connect with me. I'm trying to get my slide up here so you all can take a picture and connect with me. So when you think of ideas like what you all shared, whether it's tomorrow or 2 weeks from now, if you could just send it to me, and then connect with me online, so that way we can be able to share in each other's journeys, and you can see where I'm going, I can see what you're doing, and we can be able to support one another. Let me see if I can get it up.
Let me remove my pen. Try again.
Okay.
Well, once we get that up, that sounds good. And then I'm assuming follow you on social media and engage with your content and all of that would be helpful as well.
You okay, Tabitha? Can you still hear us?
Okay.
There you go. Okay.
I'm back. Okay, yes. There we go. Can you guys see that?
It's trying to load.
Thinking about it.
Oh, okay. It says resume share. That's messed up. I don't know. That's just so strange. It was working so great. Let's see here.
We can share your contact information in the chat as well.
Okay, that'll be awesome. That'll be awesome. So on social media, you guys, I am at the Tabitha Christopher. On Instagram, as well as here it is. And voila, do you see it?
Well, while that's thinking.
Okay.
Do you have email?
Yes, contact us at tabithachristopher.com. I'm going to drop it all in the chat right now as well.
Sure, let's do. Do you have any?
Well, while you're putting that in the chat, we will make sure that you've got it, and anybody here that needs it, whether or not we have our slide deck, we have our contact information in the 1 Million Cups platform, so we'll get you guys hooked up. In the meantime, is there anybody new that would like to come stand up and introduce yourself and welcome, welcome? I see some few new faces, come on up. And then also, will anybody new online? Thanks.
This was amazing. This is working.
Yeah, and come get to this
Yeah.
car and address the audience. Make sure you look at the camera.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know, it's hard.
I'm looking at the camera. Okay. You're taking a picture? My name is Lisa Morgan and I'm new to Albuquerque. I mean, I have been here 7 years, but we didn't know anybody when we moved. I am coming out of retirement. And today's my anniversary, 48 years with my amazing husband.
Aww.
So, yeah, I've been on a deep and dark and long journey through the dark night of the soul for about 25 years, trying to figure out what the heck was going on inside of me that made me shatter. And now that I'm on the other side, I say my real credentialing, I was a board certified music therapist and certified life coach, is my PhD of life, you know, figuring out the whole subconscious programming. And I have been on a mission to find out the missing X factor that really helps people get unstuck. And, you know, as many ahas and insights and healings as I've had, my nervous system still gets triggered. And I know that my abuse started in the womb. So I found it and I'm ready to share it. And I really want to help people break through and break out and step out and shine their light and live a magnificent life. So thanks for having me. I'm thrilled to be here. What an amazing group this is.
All right. I have a couple of announcements if anybody wants to see them. Let me just share my screen. Let's see, events to announce. So Barbara's continuation of her workshop today here at Fat Pie BBQ. Our headshot event with Deanna on February 21st. Do we have any signups? We do.
We are into like overflow parking now. so
Nice.
It's actually booked solid. but-
People need some headshots. I guess we'll have to do a second one.
Yeah, well, how long do we have that day? Cause we go like till 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so we're.
As long as you guys aren't making too much noise.
12:30 would be the next available.
Perfect.
slot.
And start a fiesta back with on February 29th at the Q station. And Marty, you want to take a quick stab since we're about your event? I think we're finalizing details and we'll do one last announcement about that.
Awesome. So thank you, everyone who volunteered to participate in our community in 30 things. So I think we have maybe 5 more people who are supposed to bring their objects so that they could get photographed today. Deanna's going to stay after and do the final amount. I've got the frames ready. We'll pick a place here to place these things. And the whole idea is to get to know a different part of the people in your life through something that matters to them and tells a story about them. So I'm also going to try to get some press on this. I have a friend helping me. So this is all about community and building deeper community and talking about legacy. So thank you.
Paul, you can come send us off, but I have one quick announcement. And the reason that we ask everyone to leave the building by 10:30, it's not because we're being mean and we don't want you guys to enjoy each other's conversations, but we have paying members who start to complain when the noise levels, you know, as high as it is. So I'm very sorry for having to kick you out by 10:30. If you want to continue your conversations, I've got a slide that gives some potential locations, but please just respect my paying tenants' wishes and help them get back to work after our busy Wednesday mornings. Okay, it's not because we don't love you. It's just that, you know, it's the right thing to do for them.
So I want to follow that by telling you where you can go. So VM, a wonderful coffee house, is 0.3 miles from here, easy walking distance. And the cool thing about that is it's right next to like the Verge building. So I've gone in there with various people to talk about one thing or another, or presentations or whatever. And I'm like, oh, by the way, you know, that guy 2 tables over just had $100 million exit. So this is a really happening place. You should hang around here. Maybe the vibes will run off on you, right? So that's a great place to go. And just to tell you how cool it is, while we were waiting for coffee, I was talking to somebody about what was going on in our company. And the barista says, oh, you've opened a funding round? I'm like, that's the kind of coffee house you belong in. So yeah, I heavily endorse that as a great place to go. Because like I'm looking around, I'm not seeing that many VCs in here right now. Anyone here have 100 million exit that they haven't told us about? I didn't think so. Okay, so go on over there and you'll see lots of people have done that kind of stuff. So how do we close out today? You know, there's a lot of challenges to being an entrepreneur. You know, maybe you don't know how to do financial modeling. I didn't. You reach out to the community. Eventually, you'll find someone who will help you with that. Or maybe you need a web developer that's up to speed and current standards. That would be Noventum in my case, and I did that. And then eventually you come up to what's the last thing keeping your company from being successful? And it might be you. And if it is, that's the last thing you're working on, and that's the hardest thing. But if you're going to have to solve that to make your company work, there are people in the community to help you with that also. So go out and have a great week and lift up entrepreneurship in New Mexico. Thank you.